A major Russian missile and drone barrage on Ukraine has struck the Mittal steel plant in the central Ukrainian city, the hometown of President Volodymyr Zelensky, killing 2 people and injuring 14 others, according to the Ukrainian officials. Well, the attack also caused significant damage to critical production infrastructure at one of Ukraine's largest industrial facilities, forcing the steelmaker to partially suspend operations. The strike took place amid a wider wave of Russian missile and drone attacks across Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that 2 people were killed and 14 wounded at the Mittal facility. The company confirmed that one of the sites had been hit with damage reported to facilities connected to power generation and blast furnace operations. The damage to these key areas disrupted production at the plant, although the company is now assessing the extent of the destruction and working towards restoring affected operations. Mittal Kryvyi Rih is Ukraine's largest steel producer and has continued operating at reduced levels during Russia's full-scale invasion, despite repeated security threats, infrastructure damage, and periods of suspension. The plant is majority owned by Mittal, the global steel giant founded and led by Indian billionaire Lakshmi Mittal. Company records show that Mittal holds a 95.1% interest in the Ukrainian business, and the Kryvyi Rih facility has played an important role in Ukraine's steel industry for decades and remains a major industrial employer and producer despite the ongoing war. Kryvyi Rih itself has repeatedly come under Russian attack since the beginning of the full-scale invasion in 2022. The city is internationally known as Zelensky's hometown and has become a frequent target because of its strategic industrial importance. The latest Russian barrage also affected several other parts of Ukraine, including Kyiv and Sumy. Well, in Kyiv, Russian strikes triggered several fires and injured 6 people, and one of the most visible incidents occurred at a popular outdoor book market, where rows of closely packed stalls were destroyed by fire and thick smoke rose over the area. Zelensky condemned the attack, saying that Russian forces were targeting civilian infrastructure with ballistic missiles. Ukraine's northeastern city also reported casualties, with Zelensky saying that 1 person was killed. Well, in the southern region, a man and a woman were reported killed after their home was struck during the Russian attacks. Well, Russia's defense ministry meanwhile said that its forces had targeted a metallurgical plant in Kryvyi Rih along with the military industrial facilities in Kyiv. Moscow claimed one of the targets was connected to the production of Ukraine's long-range Flamingo missiles, which Kyiv has increasingly used in strikes against targets inside Russia. Well, the latest attacks came as both the nations carried out another major exchange of long-range strikes, and Russia said it had intercepted hundreds of Ukrainian drones during an overnight attack, with its defense ministry claiming that 822 Ukrainian drones had been destroyed. Moscow mayor also said that around 600 drones were detected near the Russian capital. Well, the Ukrainian drone offensive reportedly caused casualties and damage in Russia as well, and an 83-year-old man was killed after a Ukrainian drone struck a home in the Moscow region, while another attack triggered a major fire at Wildberries warehouse in Podolsk. The escalation highlights how the Russia-Ukraine conflict is increasingly relying on long-range missiles and drones to strike targets far from the front line. Well, Ukraine has intensified attacks on Russian military and energy infrastructure, and while Russia continues to target Ukrainian industrial, energy and civilian infrastructure. Well, for Mittal Kryvyi Rih, the immediate focus is on assessing the damage, treating the injured and restoring production at the affected facilities, and authorities are continuing to investigate the attack, while the latest exchange of strikes underscores the growing scale and reach of the Russia-Ukraine war. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.